3:48. I mean, is your mind blown?
Yeah, I will say, man, there are definitely some times where, similar to when they ran 7:30, where like, even I'm surprised. Like to see him do that, the way he got up and closed at the end, he just loves to compete, man. He's really good.
Yeah. So what were the instructions coming into this race? Because the way he described it to me was that the goal was qualify for NCAAs, but then in the middle of a race, he knows what the pros are going after, world standard. Just compete.
Yeah, I mean, that's our biggest thing was like, just come in and compete. The time's going to take care of itself. If it slows up, just run the win. And if it's really fast, let's hang on and see what you can do. And even in qualifying for NCAAs, like, we only loosely even talked about that. We're like, hey, we got plenty of chances to do that. He hasn't raced since December. He hasn't done much. Like, just go run hard and let's see where we're at and what we can go do. And I just think he loves to compete. So it doesn't matter what time of year it is, that's when he's at his best. So, yeah, that's really good.
How have things been going, I guess, since that 3K? He took a little bit of a break, but then I guess how did you structure his training to get ready for this?
Yeah, I mean, they took him and Parker both took a significant break after that 3K. I mean, I felt like, especially even more than Parker, had such a great cross-country season. Then you have that big emotional 3K. And these guys want to race well into the summer. And so we took a big break in December. I mean, he's really just getting going. And I was nervous today because I knew in December, I was like, okay, we haven't done a lot of specificity, but I know they're at least rested. This, I was like, we have not done specificity, and he's trained really hard the last 3 weeks and definitely a little tired. Clearly I was wrong. But, like, it just shows you, like, I feel like I'm learning so much from these guys. It's just like, we don't overdo it. Like, we don't overdo it. It's just steady and consistent. And Ethan, just like Grant Fisher, has this incredible ability when you say, like, hey, this is what we need to get out of this workout, whatever it might be. He doesn't try to do any more than that. He just, hey, what are we trying to get in? Get out. And Grant was the best at that too. And I do think if you're going to be great, like, that's the skill more than overdoing it all the time. And he's really good at that. You know?
One thing I think he highlighted from the training has been, I guess, like, there was, maybe just one workout that really kind of, stung him, or he went to the well. It was like hills and then 500s.
Yeah.
I
mean, if that stung him, I'm even surprised, honestly, because we did that last Friday. We did, 8 times 200-meter hill, and then he came back and we did 4 500s, but he ran 3 of them with our other guys. And on the last one, I just said, hey, it started second and a half, 2 seconds back, and he came through in 55. It wasn't like he went deep at all. It was just getting some cadence, and I just think with him, he needs very limited doses of that, and then he's a great competitor. And again, we're going to go really late into the summer, so just go back to work on Monday. Yeah.
So I guess like the idea was toyed around, I guess, a little bit for Milrose, but no more plans for Milrose with him.
Yeah, when we left here in December, obviously like there was a lot, opportunities coming their way. Him and Parker both, and it was like he could go to Milrose, and I think one of the things we have done well, Ethan and Parker do really well, is like keep the main thing, right? And these guys want to have 10-year pro careers. And Ethan and I talked about Milrose in December, and we both said, like, look, if you were going to retire at the end of this year, yeah, you got to take every chance you get. But then we're on a 10-year plan, and so we don't need to react to every single thing that comes up. I think that's like the easy cycle to get, is just start reacting. And he's so mature about that most people his age would be like, no, I want to go do it. And he's like, that sounds fun. I'd really rather beat those guys in June. So if you think I can beat them in June better by staying low key, let's go do that. And him and Parker, like, that's the way they think, is like they want to beat them when it matters.
One thing that stood out to me when I did that podcast with him, whatever it was last month, was that he's like, record talk never happens, really.
Yeah, we never talk that way at all. Yeah.
What are your meetings like, I guess, now, coming back from that break to assess the rest of the season? What's kind of like the main thing there?
Yeah, we just talk about the long-term plan. I mean, both the long-term for the rest of this year.
That's always been your thing, the long-term.
And then also like where they want to go over the next, 8 to 10 years. And I mean, I do think every day I'm looking at the next 2 great American distance runners, and I say that like, not just because they're my guys. I think the context I've seen enough now, like, yeah, these are the next 2 great American distance runners. And I feel such a personal obligation to only think in 10-year terms with them and talk in 10-year terms. And so we talk about that and like how late we want to go into the summer. And, I think these guys, they take a lot of pride of, hey, we may only be 22 and in college, like, we can go mix it up with any of the pros. And they fire each other up that way every day. And truthfully, I am just having an enormous amount of fun with them, and I'm learning from them, and we're just figuring more and more out as we go.
How do you think Grant's going to react when he sees you calling him the next great thing?
I mean, Grant's got several years on him. By the time Ethan or Parker are really there, Grant will be retired. So, but I think it's good context. Like, I remember where Grant was at their age, and They're different, but I see a lot of the similarities in personality that make Grant great. I see with these two guys for sure too.
So what's next for these guys?
Ethan's gonna go low key for the next 3 weeks, go dark. We'll run a DMR in 3 weeks here just to get qualified for the NCAA meet, and then we will go to the conference meet. I don't know when he's gonna run the NCAA meet. He's talked a lot about wanting to run the DMR in the 3000. We'll talk more about it and see what he's gonna do. Parker is getting back going. He got crushed by the neurovirus last week and was like down for a few days. So we're just getting him back going right now, and we'll play the back half of the season and get him ready.
Awesome. Well, keep it going, Coach.
Thank you. Appreciate it.